Listen up, people. That's right. It's time to listen to the sparks of bliss in your life. I'm your host and life coach, Caroline de Posada from Miami, Florida. And this podcast is an invitation to join me in upgrading our mindset, wellness, and relationships so that together we create a life that unlocks our bliss. Join me each week as we explore practical strategies, inspiring stories, and the moments of clarity, or as we like to call them, los momenticos, that make the world a little more magical. Consider this your weekly dose of wisdom in your pocket. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hey, Blissners, welcome to episode number 52 of Blissn Up. It's pretty remarkable that we are already at 52 episodes. I feel like I launched this podcast 5 minutes ago, and somehow I've recorded 52 episodes already. The official birthday of the podcast is May 5th, so I was contemplating whether I should celebrate today on the 52nd episode or next week because I'm closer to May 5th. I've decided I'm going to talk more about the 1 year next week, but I did want to honor the fact that this is the 52nd episode and just how proud I am of the work that we're doing here, of the community we've built here in the podcast. And I want to thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your emails and your direct messages on social media. I have received all of them, and I am just so grateful to you for continuing to be a part of this journey with me. But today, what I really want to focus on is getting ready to step into the month of May. If you follow along in the podcast, then you already know this formula. But if you don't, welcome. Thank you for joining. And this is the formula. Every month at the end of the month, on the last episode of the month, we celebrate our Live with Intention framework, which means we notice what's been working and not working. We name what we want to step into, and we nurture that name, that energy, that theme, that intention that we set together as a collective. So on this sacred Sunday, I invite you to take a few minutes to reflect on this last month. What were your successes? You know, I'm a big believer in success filing, and oftentimes we do not dedicate enough time to success filing. But if you are a person who has the practice of success filing on a daily or weekly basis, like if you have a regular practice of that, this is a great day to kind of review your notes and remember all of the successes that you've had this month. I want you to notice what took place in the month. What were the highlights? What were the big moments, the big events, the big celebrations, the hard challenges, the things that drained your energy, the things that maybe you worried about? Maybe you get to notice are you carrying those things into May? Were they resolved in April? Did you worry for nothing? Were you able to close loops in April that had been open for a while? Did you open new ones that you are bringing with you into May? And how do you want to step into those? These are the questions I want you to be asking of yourself and really paying attention so that you can move into May with clarity and intention. So this is really what we've identified as creating a lifestyle of reflection. And the reason this matters is because life comes at you super, super fast. And you could easily get, stuck in the whirlwind of daily life and urgencies and crises and the speed of it all. And now with all the noise that we have in the world and social media and the constant movement, the very fast-paced life that we live, it is more important than ever to intentionally carve out space to slow it down. And one way to slow things down is to take the time to acknowledge them, to think about them, to sit with them for a second before moving on to the next thing. And this practice can be a real game changer. A journal that I often recommend is the Emily P. Freeman journal. It's called the Next Right Thing Journal. And I really like the journal because it gives you a space to fill in, these are the days of. And one of the things that I enjoy doing is writing in, like, these are the days of flag football with my kids, of preparing for my masterclass, of taking a trip with my family, of binge watching this TV show, of worrying about this thing, right? I like to acknowledge that these are the days of practice. And I incorporate that into my notice. So that's something that I invite you to incorporate into your notice. You could either buy the journal, the link is in my show notes, or you can just on a piece of paper or on your own journal, just write, these are the days of, and fill it in for the month. That's a really fun practice to do. So once you've taken the time to notice, it's time to name. And it's one of my favorite things to do. Theming months has become one of my pastimes. I swear, I absolutely love it. I love living according to themes. It's become a ritual in my life. It has inspired me to not only think about what I personally am going through, but also it inspires me to think about the collective, the theme of the season we're in. I think about the season in terms of weather. I think about the holidays that are in this season. I think about special days and moments. I think about what I'm trying to accomplish. I also think, as in terms of habit stacking, about what I've been building up until now, right? So I look back and I'm like, oh, the last couple of months have been X, Y, and Z. So it becomes a little bit of a habit stack. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to build on that, or I'm going to expand on that, or I'm going to transition from that. Or maybe I did that theme really, 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 really well and I mastered it. Or maybe I want to bring it into this month a little bit more because I feel like I'm still in that energy. So it's just my favorite thing ever. I love this practice. And as I was thinking about May and what May represents, I had so many themes all at once because May to me feels like a mix of things. May in many ways is like December. Maybe that's because my kids are still in school years, so that might just be a parenting thing for, like a parenting common denominator that we experience. If you're not a parent, I'm not sure that you feel this way about May, but maybe you do. But it just feels like this is the time of the month where we are nearing an end of something. The school year is going to end. And some Mays are monumental because they're milestone endings, like you may be ending kindergarten or ending elementary, middle school, high school, graduating from college. These are monumental milestone kinds of endings, which stir up all sorts of emotions. And they're both very exciting and also very sad. Like all endings and beginnings are, there's something that dies and something that is born from a transition like that. And some Mays are just, I can't wait to get to the summer because it's been a rough year and I need a summer break. I need a summer vacation. So in this way, it feels very much like December-ish because along with these endings come celebrations, end of the year parties, graduation parties, award ceremonies. There's a lot of celebrations akin to holiday celebrations that happen in May, and they can provoke rush and overwhelm and being scattered and feeling like you have too much to do and kind of getting caught in rushing through it because you just want it to end already because it's almost like too much to bear. So it could stir up a lot of different emotions. And I was thinking a lot about that for this May, but then something else also occurred to me. And that is that this is a maternal month. This is the month that we celebrate Mother's Day. It's also the month that we wrap up spring, and I find spring to be all about blooming and growth and birth, giving birth to things. And that also feels very feminine to me. So it just, to me, this month feels very feminine, very maternal, very beautiful and sweet and free-flowing and graceful and kind. So as I thought about this and all the different facets of May, I was at first a little conflicted with what I was going to deem this month, because a part of me is feeling like this month is all about momentum, right? We're out of winter, we're in spring, we're getting things done. April was all about taking aligned action. In fact, there are 3 days still left in April, and this Tuesday on April 29th, I am teaching a masterclass on going from autopilot to aligned action, which is going to be full of golden nuggets of wisdom, teaching you just how to take aligned action, how to create alignment in your life, really getting out of the mundane and autopilot, checking the boxes that we tend to fall into, and creating something bigger than just being productive. I want you to design a life that is meaningful and feels extraordinary and purposeful. And alignment is one way that we move towards that dream life. So anyway, that energy of aligned action, it feels like a natural flow to step into momentum. Like let's pick up the pace and ride this wave of momentum so that we can get things done. And I also recognize that it may not feel like smooth momentum because of that holiday feel of May. It might feel a little bumpy. It might feel like the present moment is going to distract you from your bigger goal. Doesn't that happen so often to us? Like we're like, I have this thing I want to do, and I have this big project I want to create, and I have these big dreams I want to live. But the present moment is almost like a distraction to that bigger thing. And then what do you do when that happens? Especially when the present moment is, number one, all we have, and number two, beautiful and meaningful, and not something you want to miss. So that made me rethink the theme of May. And I don't want to call it Momentum May. I want to name it Mindfulness May. This is a month where we get to be mindful and take a more feminine approach to the season, to the month, which means it might look a little messy. It might flow a little bit less structured. It might produce some tears. It might be full of highs and lows. It might be busy and fun and sad and overwhelming all at the same time. But we get to live the moment. If we have tons of momentum, we ride that wave with mindfulness. And if the momentum is bumpy because of all that's going on in our life, we make sure to acknowledge all the bumps and add meaning to them and savor them and remember that this is the journey. This is the moment we live for. This is the making of an extraordinary, magical, blissful life. So this month, I want you to nurture a mindful approach to May. I want you to do the next right thing with intention, with clarity, and with mindfulness. And that's not to say that you're going to throw away all structure. It's not to say that you're going to abandon your goals or your dreams or your responsibilities. None of that. It's really about centering yourself and getting grounded in the life you have, the life you are creating, and bridging the gap between where you are and where you want to go, while embracing the moment you are actually in. So that's what I've got for you today. This May, to me, feels like it's going to be this beautiful mix between momentum and mindfulness. It's going to be a little bit of a free-flowing roller coaster ride, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I have some fun things planned for May. I get to celebrate this podcast's first birthday in May, and I think our masterclass of aligned action is going to be a perfect segue to really get us in gear for how we are going to show up in May and what we're going to prioritize, what we're going to do, and make sure it is in alignment with who we are becoming. So I will see you on Tuesday, April 29th on Zoom. If you are not on my email list, make sure that you go to carolinedeposada.com/align, ALIGN, so that you can get all the details and you could sign up for the class. I am so looking forward to this experience and to see what comes of it. It's really exciting. Okay, happy Sacred Sunday. And that's a wrap for April. And I'll see you next week in Mindfulness May. That's it for today's episode. Thanks so much for being here. I am deeply, deeply grateful for this time to connect. If you're loving this podcast, I'd love if you could support me by subscribing, rating, and or leaving a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Those reviews help us so much. And if you know of someone who could really use a voice like mine in their head, please share this with them and let them know how much you care about their bliss. Now, if you are feeling called to dig deeper and really work on elevating your mindset, wellness, and your relationships to create a healthier, happier, and more meaningful life, then I invite you to schedule a 60-minute complimentary consultation with me. Let's have a meaningful conversation and see if working together is in our future. You can find the link to the calendar of consults right there in my show notes, but you can also connect with me on my website, carolinedeposada.com, or just send me a DM on Instagram @carolinedeposada. Like my friend always says, the project is big and you're a part of it. So thanks for being here.